You know what I mean? That's crazy. Alright. Time to play, boys. I played for like a month. It is like head is kind of in the way. You okay, buddy? Why is he looking up at me? I feel like he might need something. You need to go out or something? He usually doesn't like have his head up like this. Alright. We got Fighting Spirit. Okay, so I guess we can just play like normal 5-edge Hydra. I guess that synergizes best with my you know, I have a video on it, so like I feel like it'll just work best for my educational content for people to just refer to my other videos that teach the build order. But this is gonna kind of be like ZVP is kind of gonna be like PVT, so to speak. Okay, we're gonna go in overpull. And so we're gonna make a very, very macro focused build. Okay. Macro focus build. Oops, we should scout on 11. Like the probe came out early. You can attack the probe if they do this. Okay, if they, that's fine. They try to kind of block you like this. Just let them. Go and scout. I like to hold my larva until I see. So it's gate expand. Because it's gate expand, we're gonna go ahead and make lings. So I made 6 lings. But did you guys notice that? I didn't spend my larva until I got at least a scout off. Right? And that's pretty important in general. Now in Fighting Spirit, the rush distances are very short, so it actually really favors Protoss going gate expand. And we don't exactly know where their lings are. I mean, zealots are, right? They could be over here. We can check, but I would say at a lower level, we should really just focus on playing defensively rather than offensively. And we can play offensively later. It's always good to just kind of keep one ling in front of their base though. I just feel like it's good practice. And, you know, can kill the probe if we can, and then try to see, okay, what are they up to? Looks like they went for, you know, they opted to not play aggressive, right? So we can go ahead and try to see what's going on. A cannon already. The fact that they already made a cannon means that they're not rushing into a super fast tech play, okay? That's kind of important to note, because technically, he doesn't even really need a cannon, because I don't even have that many lings, right? So these are kind of small things you can kind of log in your mind. Oh, it looks like he might be coming out. Okay, Cybernetics board right there. He's actually moving out. So whenever you're kind of worried about move outs, don't let them get to the ramp. And then you should also just try to buy as much time as possible, right? So I'm not going to do any fancy micro, but you know, maybe just kind of do this, do that, do this, do that. Gonna make some lings. He's just running back. Stargate's on the way. Keep making some workers. And you basically want to make lings in a way that is very... You're basically just trying to match them. That said, I overmade some lings there. That's okay. I mean, it's not great, but it's okay. And so once our layer is done, we can go ahead and inspire. One little tip is move your overlords out of the way. And then I like to shift click them over to, you know, the base. Just because you want to make sure they have to work to find your overlords, right? So I'm gonna put this one down and shift click over here, right? Slowly make our hatcheries. By the way, if you want to know the actual build orders, again, I have videos on it. I'll comment on it slowly, but this is basically just a very standard 5-hatch Hydra build order. 5 hatcheries, den, evo chamber. Everything is just very, very vanilla. Make sure there's one worker per base, right? I mean mineral patch, I'm sorry. Right? Trying to see, you know, what's their zealot count? You know, they might actually be going for, you know, a timing push, right? Once everything is done over there, you slowly start to make hydras. Because we made so many lings, that's why we're a little bit short on our basically a little bit short on our drones over here, unfortunately. So we're gonna use the first set of scourges to scout. Okay. So basically what this is a no Corsair kind of build. I would say this is very donkey-ish, right? And when they do this, I would basically just play with mutas here. Okay. And try to catch this. Oh, like they got it. And notice my SimCity, right? It's really important to have a SimCity just because it just helps you to not die to things, right? Looks like he has like a push coming out over there. And on this map, it's good to just try to block the ramp as much as you can. And then, generally speaking, when you feel safe, start making workers, okay? Around 70 supply is also a good time to just like start making some more. Like another gas, but notice the power of my SimCity, right? Eventually you do want to move towards, you can also kind of sandwich here if you want, but notice like the most important part is to just not take too much damage, right? And once you feel safe, you can go ahead and start like making a bunch of workers, right? And basically what you want to do is you eventually want to hit the magic number, right? Does anyone know what the magic number is? The magic number for workers is 45. And we're gonna move out here because he's bringing High Templars, which is a good move by him. But you don't want to be stuck in your main when they go High Templars like this, right? And if you can, just try to like pick them off. Click, click. Okay, that's a lot of zealots, so we're gonna move back. Move back. And what happens if we start making a bunch of betas? Like 5 betas, 7 betas, 10 meters. We just kind of camp this area over here. I'm just gonna make meters, right? And basically, I think I have a pretty solid worker count. So basically the game plan here is I'm just gonna make a bunch of mutas and just bank up a bunch of hydras. You can spread out some overlords if you have, make one. And from this point, really just want to, you know, just basically say, look, like if you don't want to make any anti-air, well then don't. So you just let them storm themselves. And as you notice, I'm basically move, click, and then right click. Move, click, right click. Move, click, right click. Okay? And as you go home, you press 6, 7H, 7, 7H, 8, 7H, 9, 7H, right? And a good tip to have is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Like basically just send all of your rally points over there, right? And you know, basically the easiest way to just freeload in this matchup is honestly just stay on these bases and just hunt for High Templars, right? Even if they don't have any, you know, anti-air, right? This is what happens, right? And then you just go home 6, 7H, 7H, 8SH, 9SH, right? So you basically just want to keep like using all of your control groups to just make a bunch of hydras. You can make a second evo chamber if you want, right? You can also like prepare to take a 4th base if you want. So generally speaking, to micro these mutas, again, you M click and try to like hit the actual unit you want to get. Like so M, click, M, right click, right? So the M kind of just like moves you in the direction, right? So it doesn't actually attack, right? And then whenever you have time, you go home and then you macro, right? Just make sure all of them just kind of, you know, you actually use these things, right? And basically what we want to do is Protoss has very limited gas supply, right? So if they have gas supply, you just basically want to hunt for their High Templars if they have any, and if they don't have any, then well, then we just win, right? So it doesn't. So basically, as long as they don't have High Templar, I'm not even gonna do anything, right? If they don't have High Templar and you just make a bunch of units, then you'll be good. So like, you notice my attention is completely based on finding High. I'm literally not gonna find anything else except for High Templar, okay? I'm not gonna even touch it. High Templar, okay? So no High Templar, then we win. Okay? And that is the easiest way to play ZVT. Oh, I mean ZVP, sorry. Because most Protosses will skip Corsairs, right? If they skip Corsairs, you play very defensively, right? And what is the key points playing defensively, okay? Notice that, oh, I don't even have range. We're on point today, boys. We're on point today, boys. Look at that. Oh, my 9 is off, actually. Okay. So, if you can master this, right? Where you have a decent SimCity, you can block their rushes, right? You get to 45 drones, right? So you can kind of see 45 drones is about 1.5 drones per mineral patch over here. So you can kind of like eyeball it, right? Or you can actually count it to be more precise. And then you get your 6th hatchery, and then as long as you practice 5SH, 6SH, 7 SH, 8 SH, 9 SH, 0 SH. That's 6 hatcheries times 3, 18 hydras, right? You all rally them here, and you don't even have to move them, right? And then you just move around with your mutas, and then you just try to click and kill High Templars, okay? 45 drones on ZERG is a very dangerous number. I promise you, you can win so many games by just going 45 drones, okay? If he has Corsairs, well then you have to play a little bit differently. So that was basically just playing against a no Corsair open, which is honestly very prevalent in the lower levels. Yeah, there was a Protoss streamer doing the same exact builds, right? So now I'm teaching you guys how to beat it. Right? Now I'm teaching you guys how to beat it. Very simple. You just fly around with mutas. You hunt for the High Templar, and this is kind of very similar to remember I was saying in PvP you should be focusing your micro and attention on your reavers and your goons, right? In ZVP you could focus all of your attention on hunting for those High Templar, right? And the more you focus your attention on hunting for those High Templars, you should kind of like, well, you should basically view it as like a mini game, so to speak, right? And just try to hunt, run away, and you know, and lots of lower level players just hate it when you're very persistent with your mutas, okay? Why sometimes 5 hatch, sometimes 6 hatch? You always eventually want to get to 6 hatcheries, okay? I don't know how to play this map, actually. I'll try this, I guess. I don't actually know how to play this map, CBT. Maybe I'll veto this map. You always want to get to 6 hatcheries eventually. It's just a matter of when, right? Some Zergs go 6 hatch immediately because they skip Overlord speed. If you don't have Overlord speed, you can get a faster 6th hatchery, but then that also limits your offensive potential because Protoss can have Dark Templars and you can't bust into them when they have Dark Templars, right? Also, speed just gives you more mobility, right? If you have an Overlord out of position or trying to run away and they have Corsairs, right? So there's just benefits to having speed. But I would say if you wanted to play a more economic, greedy opener, you can go for that. But if you play 5 hatch Hydra with Overlord speed, then you could just you eventually still get your 6th hatchery. And I would just say whenever you have the money, right? If you're you know, and I think that's sometimes the best way to think about these things, right? Like, just know that 45 drones can support 6 hatch production on full Hydras over and over and over. Same way as, you know, 41 probes can support 8 gate production for Protoss, right? It's kind of just like, just kind of think about that in your mind. Not to mention you can like throw in some lurkers and stuff here and there, so it's important to kind of know that. Okay, so I'm gonna show a 3 hatch muta play to basically kind of teach them like higher level concepts. Well, not higher level, but basic concepts in ZBT, and also to be friendly to lower ranking players. And also, I just want to show a very important concept with mutas that a lot of people are not aware of, okay? So notice this build is going to be a little bit different. I play it a little bit greedy by getting a pool. I think I got at 13, right? No wall off. Is this a gas? No, no gas. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know. Maybe it's just really late. All right, peace out, man. You want to start making some wings just because sometimes some Terrans like to get kind of, you know, they like to punish a lot. So you want to make sure you have enough lings so they don't just like start moving out a bunch of, you know, Marines out of nowhere. Also, it's good to just, you know, chase down that worker. Obviously, we want to prioritize just making workers non-stop, right? ZERG's economy scales, so you want to make sure you don't miss a beat on making workers. Your first 100 gas goes straight into lair. And again, we're going to play a 3-hatch build. This is a very outdated build, but there's a lot we can learn from it. And I'm going to play a style where we don't really have to focus on god tier muta control. Okay, so you're going to get link speed with the next 100 gas, and then you're going to get your second gas right when you make link speed. And then we'll use these lings to kind of just patrol the front. Sometimes it's good to kind of poke in to make sure that they actually have them, right? Oftentimes, we just want to know what kind of build are they going for, right? Are they going for Academy open, or are they going for an eBay open? Okay, so that's basically like the two things you want to be careful for, right? And I'm just constantly making workers. I like to make my spire, you know, like maybe over here so they can't, like, you know, you kind of force them to guess a little bit. And that's done, you know, again, we're just kind of playing very macro-oriented. So if they had Academy open, yeah, then they would probably be moving out right now. Their medic is probably out. So against that, well, actually no. Looks like they actually wanted to juke me. So in that case, I'm going to cancel those. And start trying to take a third base, right? And once we hit 35 with this build, we're gonna make one overlord from each base, okay? One overlord from each base. And that's gonna set us up to make mutos, right? So if this were an academy push, they would be already pushing out right now. And if that were the case, we would make 2 sunken colonies and then guard it, okay? But now that it's not, we most likely can conclude it should be an eBay, or most likely this guy doesn't know what he's doing, he doesn't have a build, so that's also possible. But if they were serious, you know, it would be an eBay opener, so they have fast +1 upgrades. So we basically bank up 900, and we go ahead and make our 9 mutas immediately. Okay, right after that, you put down your third hatchery, and right after that, you put down your Hydra Den to start making lurkers soon. Looks like he's making a bunker. Okay, so this guy's just not very good. After you make your Hydra Den, you make 2 more mutas for 3 hatch muta, so that you get 11 mutas. And for this build, we don't actually get any we don't actually get any, what am I trying to say here? Upgrades. Unlike 2-hatch muta, okay? And the purpose of this build is to just buy time, right? And that's what I really want to emphasize here is the concept of buying time, okay? So I'm actually not going to attack with these mutas, okay? And then as you get your lurker upgrades, you want... Oh, it is a Valkyrie. Interesting. Okay, so this is a Valkyrie opening. You want to eventually go into... Okay, I might need to micro. Because if they go for a tank push, you eventually just have to deal with it. But basically, the mutas exist here, theoretically, to just buy time. Right, so I'm not even going to attack, right? And you don't want to get too aggressive with 3-hatch muta. If you're playing 2-hatch muta, you can play aggressive. But if you're playing 3-hatch muta, you don't really want to be aggressive, okay? That's kind of the important key point here. And once your third is out and you have some hydras out, you want to send 2 or 3 hydras over to the other base immediately so that you can start making lurkers over there, right? Looks like this guy might consider going out. So he's gonna kind of come out here. Let's see if we can maybe just buy some time. Can we? Maybe, maybe not. See, I'm not gonna actually attack. Notice how I'm just kind of moving his army around. Unfortunately, he has Valkyries. Maybe I can like attack back here if there's any reinforcements, right? It looks like he's actually moving out over there. Can I buy more time? And if I can't, that's okay. Oh! One of the weaknesses that he has in his build is precisely that he doesn't have any detection, right? Like, I'm just going straight into Hive, right? Just trying to buy time. And honestly, this kind of build is not very effective on this map. And I'm kind of just, kind of almost just abusing the fact that, you know, they're not very good. So this would make a lot more sense if it were on a 4-player map, but I forgot to veto this, so. Alright, once your Hive is done, I'm gonna just attack with that, a move, these Valkyries. And if you lose them, we lose them, right? That's okay. Generally speaking, you can hide your lurkers like that if you press patrol, right? Once your, you know, things are done here, you want to start getting all your, you know, tech out. You want to make sure you also just have a lot of drones. Let's also just send some wings out just to see stuff. It's also a good idea to sometimes like make a spore colony as well, just in case for any sort of like vessel harassment and such. But generally speaking, you do want, at this phase of the game, you want to get your defilers out, but you also really want to get to critical mass for your drones, right? So here we're just kind of prioritizing some stuff, right? It's always good to make sure you don't die to like drops. So sometimes you can kind of just play a little bit copy and just make just a sunken colony or main base. It's good to just maybe even patrol, even just use some overlords to spread things out a little bit. And right now in this phase of the game, we're kind of just trying to set up, so to speak, right? That's kind of my goal here. I'm just trying to get set up, right? I just want to mass as much as I can, you know. And if you have the APM, you can press patrol, right? We start taking this 4th base maybe, if we can keep it alive, that is. And then eventually you also just want to make your Ultra Cavern. You don't usually want to rush it too much, just because it's like, sometimes it can get hard to, like afford it, but I would say around this time is a good time. Looks like he's going over there, so maybe we can try to, you know, defend it with some lurkers. Looks like we won't be able to save it, which is okay. Try to keep every defiler at each base consumed well. And we can just, you know, go ahead and try to take it again. And once your plague is out, then that really helps with a lot of things, right? Start upgrading things, right? He's got some good irradiates going, right? So it kind of makes it a little bit difficult. If he has that, make sure you just, you know, bring some scourges around. You know, as you start to bank up some more stuff, you can eventually start even considering making some ultras. You can even make some macro hatcheries. You probably should be making macro hatcheries a lot sooner, because at this phase you're gonna really just find that you're gonna have a lot more minerals than gas, right? But because we've been pretty efficient in terms of just like our general defense here, notice we're pretty okay on gas. And then when you can, just kind of come out and try to get a plague off. Okay? When we get a plague off, that's always good. Whenever you lose a defiler, you always want to remake it, right? Let's remake it. Remake one, right? And then we'll kind of come back here. And you should try to aim to use your ultra bank when at least your armor's done, right? You just kind of plague again. And so now the armor's done, you can make speed. We'll lose that base, and that's okay. Just lose it. We eventually still need to get to 4 bases, right? Continue to plague and such. Can maybe just start taking this one, right? Use your Nidus to just make sure you don't die. Right, so, you know, we're not playing super crazy here, but... And so, one thing is you can just go and try to move out, right? And the most important thing with the ultras is you kind of want to make it like a concerted timing, so to speak, right? Like, you don't want to simply just, you know, let's try to block this. And then see if we can maybe even get there. I don't know if we can. And you know, basically what I'm trying to just do here is just come out with some big timing, right? And it looks like he actually did a really good job of just like blocking it, right? And when you move out, you can just go ahead and try to, you know, take more bases, right? That's exactly what we're gonna do. You know, you can try to attack their 4th bases. Basically, like once all your ultras are out, generally speaking, it's just a good idea to try and kind of make chaos a little bit, you know? And, you know, play with defilers, remake your defilers, you know? Do a bunch of stuff here, right? You know, even try to kill a bunch of stuff, like especially vessels. Vessels are so high. Such good units. And from here, this is kind of like where you really just enjoy the swarm, you know? It looks like he has a bunch of stuff over there. So kind of just maybe even try to punish that by like attacking over and over. Looks like he might even be trying to go in for some sort of kill here. Kind of be careful of that. And so, you know, I would just say, generally speaking, this is the phase of the game that every ZERG player dreams of. It's kind of like the swarm, you know? It's really just about getting set up and just, you know, constantly attacking everywhere. And, you know, you continue to take bases everywhere as well. Obviously, you want to try to kill a bunch of stuff. So I'm not even being super crazy with, like, my, you know, defiler usage and stuff, but you know, I mean, maybe now we can kind of like chill out for a bit, because you don't want to keep sending stuff because you know, Marine Medic scales so well, so you just want to make sure you like make an attack be concerted. Ideally, you want to bring it with an actual defiler, right? And so when you attack, just make sure you have enough like stuff, right? You have enough like ultras like this to kind of buffer, right? So they don't all just melt all at once, right? You know, it looks like this guy's doing a really good job of just like, you know, not rolling over, right? But because they're such on the back foot right here, like, you know, this is a good time to just bank up stuff, right? I made a whole round of drones to saturate that base over here, you know. If they're moving down there, maybe we can even find a plague, remake the defiler. Just make defilers, you know, just in general. Just because it just helps, right? We can find another plague, can we? See it? I don't know. Looks like he got a nice little drop off over there. Good for him. This guy plays, honestly, this guy plays very respectably well, I would say, you know. For his level, I'm very surprised that, you know, people at this ranking play like this, honestly. He's actually playing very well. Gotta give it to him. But basically with that, like, ultra move out, that's when you really just want to kind of end him, you know? So again, we're just gonna bank up again. And at this point, it's really just about, like, you know, it's really just about you know, it's just late game. You know, like bringing your defilers is probably a good idea. One way you can really lose these kinds of games is by not considering their vessel count. So one way you could really try to like really win the game is to just kill their vessels. Right. Let's remake some more defilers. Looks like he's actually moving up this way. So we can 1A, 2A, 3A. See if we can even get there. Can we actually kill the vessels? Sometimes it's nice to just like move these irradiated ultras forward. And honestly, this guy plays really well. I'm actually very impressed by the way this guy plays. I want to give this guy an award. Like, at this level, I do not expect this guy to be playing SK Terran like this. Very, you know, kudos to this guy, honestly. And so what we can do from this point on is like kind of go for the jugular, right? Kind of gather up, you know? Kind of stop playing so sloppy. And go for like a very concerted attack, right? And you can do that by actually bringing your defilers with you. Let's see if I can actually bring them. But see, when the defilers get in here, that's when things really go crazy. You should just hold this until you have, you know, reinforcements. That should probably be a game. GG. I was honestly really happy with how this guy played that game. Like, this guy, I don't think this, I don't even remember what this guy's ranking was, but it was very good. Very good. Okay, so actually I'm going to unselect that map because I don't know how to play it. Oh, I'll play Dominator instead. I just don't really know how to play that map. So, he's B rank. Okay, I mean, that makes sense. He played pretty well. Like, I was expecting this to be a lot more easier. That's why I'm playing so, like, slow and everything. But I'm like, wow, this guy has, like, pretty good concepts. He irradiates well, does SK Terran well, right? But that game was a little bit funny because 3H mute on that map is just really terrible. It's a one-on-one map, so I think I can demonstrate the build order a little bit more cleanly on a 4-player map, which hopefully we can get to. So. But basically, there's lots of phases in the game, right? When you have the mutas, you're just trying to buy time to get to your third base, right? And your third base eventually will be defended by lurkers, right? And if you have lurkers, then you go to hive, and once you get to hive, you basically just need to not die to drops or, you know, SK Terran, just like vessels and pressure everywhere, right? And so that's the name of the game, and then you basically move to defilers, start to drone up, and then eventually you go and take your fourth base, and when you take your fourth base, you start making ultras or start upgrading ultras. And the important part about ZVT is you want to bank your gas. You don't want to stream in ultras one by one, okay? The most important part about ZVT is for every gas you save earlier is a gas spent for ultras, okay? Put another way, if you're the Terran player, and this is why irradiating is so important, is if you can, every time you irradiate, you know, 1 or 2 lurkers, you're basically killing an ultra. It's an unborn ultra. Does that make sense? So for every lurker they don't kill, and for every lurker that I don't have to rebuild, that's 1 extra ultra in the late game. And once you kind of have like this gigantic ultra push, that's your opportunity to move out, to put pressure, to flood lings. When you really feel like the Zerg swarm, you take your 5th base. And then hopefully it's just kind of like a dogfight there, right? I don't have a lot of advice for like that late game kind of situation. Oh, I should be making overfull. Sorry, it's a little bit late. I don't have a lot of advice other than it's really just late game mechanics, right? You just bank up your ultras, you play, you swarm, you know, there's an infinite things you can do. Don't get too sloppy, right? I think there's a phase in the game where like, if you break the Terran, then you have an opening. If you have the opening, just keep pushing it. All right, we're gonna scout it. He tries to block the attack. Looks like it's a gateway expand. And you can just kind of try to deal with this with 2 drones. Because we already see that as a gate expand, we're gonna make 6 lings right away. If it's not a gate expand, then you make, you know, slowly make drones, or slowly make lings. If you guys remember from the game prior, you can, you know, I can't even click that probe. All right. So once you have 6 lings, that basically means the Protoss cannot move forward, okay? Just keep that in mind, okay? Protoss cannot move forward if you have 6 lings. If you have 4 lings, they can move forward. If you have 6 lings, they can't move forward. If they do move forward, they are, then you just make non-stop lings, go all in ling, and then just run past them, like counter them like this, and then you basically should just win, right? So I'm gonna move these forward to just kind of get a little bit of map control, so to speak, right? And I'm just gonna make drones. We're not gonna play this super crazy, you know, right now I could be harassing this and everything. We're just gonna play it very vanilla, you know, try to just play with solid builds, and being calm. But again, if you're an overachiever, I would recommend that you just, you know, practice your lane control, practice just being aggressive and all that stuff. So okay, so what we want to do is, oops, I made my overlord fast. Okay, because his tech is also late. You kind of poke in, see the zealot count. One good heuristic is, you know, a lot of times Zergs might feel nervous about the zealot move out, because they can kind of come out whenever, right? And that is true. And you can kind of, if you're worried, you can always just make a few more lings if you're scared. It's not the end of the world. I would say that a good heuristic is when their cannon finishes, you can probably expect them to consider moving out. Doesn't mean that they will move out, they can consider moving out. So I'm gonna make, you know, maybe 4 more lings. I would say if you have like, you know, 10 lings, that's probably more than enough to not die to any sort of push. And unless, and then from there you can kind of make more as necessary, okay? So let's see what their tech looks like. I'm gonna start moving that overlord slightly away. Okay. We'll make a thing over here. And a good rule of thumb is if they cross the map, the half of the map, then you should make some more lings. Does that make sense? So notice I didn't panic and make lings immediately, but if they crossed half the map, then you can make some more lings. Okay. Let's move these things out. That's a citadel. They're not going +1 air weapons. If they're not going +1 air weapons, they're going to be very vulnerable to muta-based play. So we're going to move on with our build here. I'm going to move our overlord out and shift click it back here just to kind of push it away. And again, this is very basic build orders, okay? Let's make sure we hotkey everything as well. We're gonna get gas, Then we get Hydroden, and then we get Evo Chamber. We get Overlord. We make some drones. We make some drones. And pay very close attention to where I am. And if they're killing this, that's okay. If they do that, that's actually very greedy on them. I make 2 sets of Scourges. And then basically, notice how I'm trying to saturate 1 mineral patch per base, okay? Once your Hydras and stuff are all out, then you slowly just get ranged weapons, Hydra speed, and then you slowly start to deal with that Corsair, and then you start making Hydras. Maybe make 1 more drone to make sure that we could get, you know... You can move your Lings back if you want. We'll just use these to scout to see what's going on. Notice I have 1 drone per mineral patch, right? He's making gateways. What does this mean, guys? This means he's not making Corsairs, so we're actually going to play the same exact way as we did before, right? We're just going to play very defensively, right? And then we're just going to play with, you know, lots of Hydras. And then eventually, when we feel safe, we're going to make some drones. So I just want to make sure we don't compromise anything here. And again, if you lost a drone because you're making something, just rebuild that drone, right? And notice how I'm just very safely staying behind my SimCity. It's really important to notice that. And once you feel like you kind of have enough, right? You kind of eyeball it like, gee, it's going to be really hard for them to bust this, right? With just pure zealots. Then I think it's a good time to just start, you know, making drones, right? Because right now we have about 30 drones, and we want to pump up to, I'm making drone. These drones effectively just allow us to, you know, get to our 45 count. So I'm just droning, right? And notice he's gonna come out with his push, but he can't get much done because my SimCity is too good, right? The SimCity is so important. It's actually really, really important to just not dying. It's very essential, right? You can also just like send Lings out just to kind of see what they're up to, right? We lost the drone, so we'll just remake it. It's okay, not a big deal. Right. Okay, so then what did we learn, right? Like if we feel relatively safe, maybe now we can go ahead and make our mutas. 9 mutas, right? He's got high Templars, 9 mutas, 11 mutas, and we're gonna go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I think, I don't know if I did 0 over here, right? And basically, we'll just move all of our units up forward. Maybe not all of them, maybe just leave like 1 high a few Hydras, you know, just to account for, you know, any sort of DTs that are like walking by and stuff, right? And basically what we want to do here is just, you know, same thing, right? Because they weren't making Corsairs. He had 3 Corsairs, but 3 Corsairs is nothing to worry about, okay? And basically, once you have your 45 drones, it's so easy to just sit here and like make Hydras nonstop, okay? So we're gonna go out. 5 SH, 6 SH, 7 SH, 8 SH, 9 SH, 0 SH. You guys see that? You just make Hydras. Don't worry about anything else. But you can deny all this. This is nice, right? And then basically we're just trying to, you know, and if you have the APM, go send a, you know, drone to go make a 4th base. And then we're just gonna try to see if we can find, just hunt, okay? Hunt. Don't go too crazy. Try to find like an opening, you know? Opening over here, you know. Run away. And really, it's just gonna be a mini game. And as I'm flying around, notice I'm like microing in between. Can I try to find any High Templar? Can I not? Is he hiding them? Not even doing anything, right? Maybe they're like by the cannons, and it's okay to actually go into the cannons and just like, just kill it. 2, 3, and you got all the High Templar, right? We lost all of our units, but that's okay. You know why? Because we're just gonna now send all of our Hydras and move them all the way to his main base, okay? Because these Hydras are very strong. And honestly, they really need their High Templar to stop this, right? And I'm not even really gonna look because we killed. And we're just gonna keep focusing on our macro. And just attack, right? And hopefully we can do it. I don't know if we can. We don't have the best angle there, but let's see if we can get this done. I don't know. Maybe we can. Maybe we can't. Right? We're gonna keep making some more Hydras back at home. Looks like we might actually be able to do it, right? Just go this. Go this. Go this. Right. Maybe he has some High Templars. If he does, then be careful. Okay. But I don't really care. You know, we're just getting stormed up the ass. Can kind of micro a little bit here and there. Lots of storms. Notice I just keep microing, macro. Upgrade. And look how strong this 6 hatchery production is, right? Very strong, right? And it might feel like this is, you know, the tactics are, you know, could be slightly difficult. But, you know, like if you really think about it, I didn't really do anything too crazy there, right? I just saw that he wasn't making Corsairs. I mean, he made 3, but basically like they have to be making non-stop Corsairs. They also need +1 air weapons. Even if they have Corsairs, like honestly, sometimes you can still hunt for those High Templars. And once you get those High Templars, your Hydra production will just move. You don't even have to micro them and you just win, right? And it's so important to understand this concept in ZVP because you should kind of effectively view ZVP as a series of mini games, right? And you know, mini games start all the way from the beginning with like lings, and if you don't want to micro lings, that's okay. But the most important thing is this kind of phase of limited gas from the Protoss and abusing the limited gas by sniping those. And even if you go on a kamikaze mission and lose all your mutas doing it, it's still worth it because ZVP is about checkmates. ZVP is not about, oh, we're gonna macro and play and build our army, get bigger, and then just kind of fight like 2 titans. ZVP is just mini games, right? Notice like with my mutas, I'm just hunting. I'm literally doing nothing else, right? I'm macroing back at home maybe, but I'm not teching, I'm not expanding. I'm not really doing much else but spending the vast majority of my attention just on hunting for those High Templars, right? And even if I have to suicide to get it, it's still worth it. Right now, you want to make sure you don't like you flop your muta micro so as to, you know, not actually get the High Templar. That could be a little bit dangerous, obviously. But yeah. Anyways, all right, we got a ZVZ first one. We're gonna play 9 pull speed. I think 9 pull speed is honestly one of the easiest, or one of the most straightforward ways. I don't know if it's easy, but I would just say that it's definitely, it's certainly the most straightforward. And I think like in ZVZ, undeniably your control is going to be really important. Okay, and so 9 pull helps you to practice your control. My dog is on me still, so I feels kind of uncomfortable. Gonna build my spawning pool here. On some maps, if you build that spawning pool there, then it actually helps your mining very slightly, so it kind of bounces back and forth, so it's very intentional. We're gonna get our gas. Again, very basic 9 pull speed build. When you do that, you get your Overlord on 8. Looks like we are scouting each other. I scouted the wrong way. You should scout clockwise on Fighting Spirit, but you know, such is life. I just forgot. Let's we're gonna scout each other first. DBZ is always gonna have some level of asymmetry because the build orders are so consequential. So there's always gonna be like some amount of luck, right? So we're gonna go ahead and make our lings, and then we immediately get speed, and when we get speed, we want to take 1 off gas. And this is really just an optimization, and I'll show you why. Notice that we see an Overlord coming out, right? If you see the Overlord already coming out, that means this is not a 9 pull from our opponents. It could be 12 hatch, it could be 12 pull, it could be over pull, it could be over gas, but we know that it cannot be 9 pull because the Overlord should not already be all the way out there. I think, actually. Well, am I wrong on that? I might be wrong. That might be embarrassingly wrong. Okay, so we're gonna go in. We're gonna make the layer. Notice the layer came right at 100 gas, so that's why I took, you know, gas off because of that. And we're gonna keep making lings until, you know. Okay, so I don't know what the hell he's doing. Start mining gas again. And basically from this point, it's like basically over. I'm gonna make some money because he doesn't have anything. Unless he has like a secret, some sort of crazy secret base, right? And this game is basically over. And you should kind of learn these kinds of different kinds of checkmates, right? And what I mean by that is, you know, I'm gonna make some drones. And just don't let them get out. And how do you do that? The best way to do that is basically you want to make a concave. You can make the concave on top of the ramp to play defensively, but you can also make the concave like this, offensively, right? Because this stops them from ever coming out, right? I think what happened is they went for a hatch first and they probably canceled it, right? And so this is kind of effectively, they will never have the ability to actually come out anymore, right? You know, sometimes it's hard to do this, and it's good to just kind of practice, you know? And this is also just really important. Oh, I made too many, oops, I made too much there. My larva, that's fine. I'll go ahead and expand. And my expansion is now gonna be really safe, just because I have this contain. And my tech and my mutas are already coming out, which means if they don't make Evo Chamber and Spore Colonies, then I will insta-win the game, right? So I should have planned this, so I think I made too many drones, but I should have planned this to just make 3 mutas ASAP. That was just a misstep from me. And then I'm low on money or food. One little trick to afford another Mutalisk is to just make a creep colony and then cancel it. Into micro. See, look how much value I'm getting here. And then you just, you know. Kill all this, and it's basically game over.
Our forces are under attack.
If you want to stay safe, you could make a sunken colony and stuff, but really it's over, right? Like, you cancel this spire. Away. So one important concept, and I'm gonna teach this concept here, is when you're playing in spore colonies, don't like kind of freak out, right? So right now we're just gonna win the game. Don't try to just like get bigger because it just drags out the game. When you have 7, let's just try this, right? I'll take that out. When you have 7 Mutas and you have a spore colony that's kind of lone there, you can actually snipe it down really fast, right? And you can actually just bomb it. So go. So it's really strong, but you know, even if I don't do my pullback micro, which I could have, you know, I just killed it, right? So sometimes you can kind of go for like a 7 muta timing against their spore colony. You know what I mean? You can go for that timing. You can try it again, right? 7, right? I'm just gonna go kill the other one. Right again. Because then that forces your opponent to make more spore colonies. Even though I'm losing one, so if you want to get like really fancy, you can, right? And so that's how you basically bust a spore colony defense, right? If they want to not die to all Mutas, they need to make another colony to effectively block it, right? So that's why it's also a newbie mistake if they make their spore colonies in such a way that's so far apart from each other, right? So if you want to, so if you're the spore colony defender, you kind of want to make them somewhat close. So you can add like a 3rd spore colony so they can't effectively just snipe one or pick one off like that, right? So those are the small things you want to kind of keep in the back of your head to just kind of look for and hunt for in order to just basically win the game fast. Instead of like having the game sort of degenerate into some sort of I don't know, late game situation where you guys have like Hive and all that stupid stuff. So all right, so I think that's gonna be it for me. I'll probably take a few questions if anybody has any. If not, that's okay. I think we'll just I gotta feed my son soon, so I don't want to keep playing, and I'm also getting really tired. So why would Overlord movement have anything to do with the build order someone is doing? So my Overlord movement is important because the Overlord going towards their natural, you can see whether or not they are making a hatch first, right? Or if they're going for a 12th pull, right? So it just gives you more information. If you go counterclockwise in the other way, then I don't have that information because I'm not going towards their natural. I don't actually see anything, or I don't even see lings coming out if they went 9 pull or 4 pull or something, right? So it doesn't really change, it doesn't change my opener, but it changes the additional information I get afterwards. Oh, the Overlord of the opponent. So basically, it changes because, you know, it's just kind of iterating on potential build orders and stuff, right? Like, you know that they're gonna scout you first, right? You know, that limits your opportunity to get tricky or to do anything because they're gonna figure out that you're on 9 pull or one base very soon, and I'm not gonna know that, right? So I'm just saying it's just something to kind of keep in mind there. Terran C to S. I wanted to, but people voted for the Zergs. That's what happens when you don't tune into the stream, Exit Brood War. You're slacking, bro. You're slacking. Tetsuo, no problem. POA Dave, what do you like to do against 2 Stargate Corsair? Well, you just have to scout it, and you know it's pretty straightforward. You just go Hydras. You basically have to babysit your overlords. 2 Stargate Corsair basically needs to get damage soon and fast by popping all your overlords with kind of like zealot timing. So you have to make sure you don't allow them to get there, because you know they'll basically try to make the game really, really hectic. So you don't want to like have all your Hydras out on the map. You want to stay like very contained behind your SimCity, play very, very, you know, defensively, so to speak, right? And as long as you play defensively, and your macro and your economy doesn't get hit very much, then honestly, 2 Stargate Corsair is going to fall apart, right? Because they just don't have the gas to make the High Templars, and we saw earlier in our stream how precious every High Templar is, right? So the key to playing against 2-star is just not panicking, not taking damage, being safe, being defensive. Good SimCity is really important to not like take damage from speed zealots and stuff like that. So that's all I really have to say. The most important part about 2-star Gate is just knowing that you're up against it. Sometimes